One of the major reasons for binge eating is a chronic fear of eating and undereating. The deprivation dieting is a setup for binge eating, because when you're depriving yourself of eating nourishing, healthful foods, you are starving your physiology and you're emotionally starving yourself. So foods become bad, there's a fear of eating food, and you can only deprive yourself so long. The diet mentality, the fear of eating, sets you up for binge eating. And so one of the ways to stop binge eating is to start to give yourself permission to eat, to start to eat nourishing foods throughout the day, to stop the deprivation, to stop the undereating. And I know that if you want to lose weight, this feels counterintuitive, because we've been brainwashed into believing that the less we eat, the better off we are, the thinner we will be. But that is not the truth. When you're undereating, you're slowing down your metabolism, you're activating the stress response, and your body is holding on to everything. And it's hard to lose weight. The best thing that you can do is to increase your food intake, put in lots of nourishing foods, get your metabolism working wonderful, and then your body will be more efficient and effective in assimilating the nutrients that you bring into the body, energizing you, enabling you to have more energy to do the things that you love to do. So the chronic undereating is a big piece of the binge cycle. I know that this can often be a challenge for many people. When I was in my binge cycle, I was so afraid of eating more food because I had been brainwashed into believing the less I ate, the better off I was, and I only wanted to be thin. But I messed up my metabolism and I couldn't sustain myself on so few calories. So inevitably I would binge and try to get in all the nourishment that my body was deprived of. The way that I healed this was to start to eat regular meals, to start to put in the good stuff regularly, to stop undereating, and to start to trust my body and all of my natural instincts to metabolize food in a healthy way. And now I eat robust, healthy foods and maintain a slim body because I have healed my metabolism. So in this video, I'm going to guide you in a tapping sequence that's going to help you to release the fear of eating more food. And as you do that, when you start to allow yourself to put in the good stuff, to eat nourishing food, to increase your protein intake, to put in healthy nutrients that will nourish your body, mind, and spirit, you will be freer, and the instinct to binge eat will start to diminish. So if you're afraid to eat, if you're afraid to add up more foods, maybe you understand what I'm saying theoretically, but that fear of adding more food is stopping you from taking the action, then this video is for you. Tapping is one of the techniques that I teach to my clients and students that enable them to have peace with food, peace with weight, and body image. If you're new to tapping, there'll be a link below that will tell you more about this wonderful technique that will help you to release the fears that are holding you back from aligning with your health and fitness goals. For today's purposes, follow along with me, taking full responsibility for your health and well-being. So tune in to that statement, I'm afraid of food. Maybe there's certain foods that you're afraid of. Maybe there are foods that you feel are not acceptable, and maybe you even binge on them. You know, one of the interesting things is when you have foods that you feel like you can't eat because maybe you've learned that they're too high calorie, or maybe you feel like you can't control them, you deprive yourself of them, and then that might be the same exact food that you binge on. I remember years ago, peanut butter was a binge food for me, and I loved peanut butter, but I didn't allow myself day to day to eat peanut butter, and so it turned into a binge food. I now enjoy peanut butter almost daily in reasonable amounts, and it nourishes me, it satisfies me, and I don't have to do the all or nothing at all. So tune into the fear that you might have in regards to some particular food or the fear of eating more, and tap along with me. So we start with the setup statement, tapping on the side of the hand, and I'm going to offer some words. You can absolutely change them to make sure that they land with you. The objective here is to clear the fear that's holding you back from eating healthy, nourishing foods, adding in the good stuff, stopping the deprivation dieting, and eventually you can stop the binge eating when your body starts to know that it's going to be nourished regularly. Even though I have a fear of eating food, specific foods, or enough food, I've been so convinced that the less I eat, the thinner I'll be. But it's not sustainable, and it often leads me to binge eating. And even with all of this, I accept myself with love and compassion. Even though I have fears around taking in healthy, nourishing foods regularly, and I'm in this pattern of depriving myself, today I choose to love and accept myself with compassion. Even though I've been in this binge cycle and it starts with undereating, today I'm choosing to shift this pattern into something that's much more sustainable. And take a deep breath in and let it go, and tune into the fears that you have around eating more food. Or maybe there's a particular food that you're afraid to eat, and although you crave it, you deprive yourself of it. The deprivation can only go so far, and eventually you're going to break out and eat it. So the opportunity is to eat it with more balance. It's sustainable, it'll allow your body to self-regulate, and it will allow you to reach your health and fitness goals in a way that will feel good in your body, in your mind, and your spirit. So let's tap through the round. All of this fear around eating more food. I've been undereating for a long time now. And then I end up binging. And I want to break this cycle. It's like an emotional roller coaster. And it's not sustainable. The undereating, the binging, keeps me in a destructive pattern. And it's fueled by fear. Fear of eating more food, fear of gaining weight, fear that I cannot control myself. And so I've been resistant to giving myself more food on a daily basis. And there are even certain foods that I tell myself I absolutely can't have. And I deprive myself of the delicious foods because I can't seem to eat them in moderation. And so I deprive myself and I deprive myself. And then I end up binging on those foods because I've been depriving myself of the pleasure of eating those foods, of the nourishment those foods can give my body. I wonder if I can bring more balance into it. Wouldn't it be nice to allow myself those delicious foods that I'm craving regularly in moderate amounts? Daily, putting in the good stuff. Stop depriving myself. Trusting my body, that as I feed my body healthy, nourishing foods, that my body will learn to self-regulate. My metabolism will be more efficient. And I will align with my health and fitness goals in a sustainable way. Today, I choose to acknowledge the fear that's keeping me in this destructive pattern. The fear of eating more food. The fear of letting go of the deprivation mindset. The fear of gaining weight if I eat more food. If I truly want peace, I have to try a different way. I know this pattern is not working, and yet I feel compelled sometimes to keep doing it harder and harder. All the diet books are telling me to restrict myself. But the restriction is not really working. And yet, adding more food and changing this pattern feels frightening. And even though I feel afraid, today I'm choosing to shift this fear, to start to address the way I feed myself in a different way, in a way that respects my body, in a way that allows my metabolism to become more efficient and effective, in a way that I can nourish myself and enjoy food, to be more mindful when it comes to eating, and give myself permission to eat a large variety of delicious foods. And as I do that more and more, I'll be less compelled to overeat and more able to be moderate in the foods that I choose to eat. Today I choose to recognize the fears that are driving this destructive pattern. All of this fear around eating foods, specific foods, or even more food. It's not been working. I might drop a few pounds, but I end up gaining it back. It's not sustainable. And yet I'm so afraid to eat more food. What if I gain weight? I'm so afraid to gain weight. But the binging is not keeping my weight where I want it to be. I might drop a few pounds, but then I end up gaining it back. I wonder if I bring more balance into my life around food, make friends with food, allow myself to eat nourishing, enjoyable foods, that would help me to release excess weight in a sustainable way. All of this fear ease and flow, release and let go. All of this fear around eating more food or eating particular foods, ease and flow, release and let go. And if you have a particular food that you're afraid of, call it to mind and notice the fears that come up. Is there a fear that you can't stop eating it? Is there a fear that it's going to make you fat? Whatever the fear is, allow it to move through you. Even though I have all this fear around food, and even when I'm eating it, I don't allow myself to eat it intentionally or mindfully because it brings up fear and guilt and shame. Maybe I've been told it's not okay to eat this food. Wouldn't it be nice to just allow food to be food, a form of nourishment, a form of pleasure and enjoyment, a form of energy that will sustain me and enable me to enjoy the rest of my life. Feeding myself nourishing foods without deprivation, without fear. Giving myself permission to stop the deprivation, to allow myself a variety of food groups, to start to listen to my body, to heal my metabolism, to eat more mindfully and intuitively. All of these fears. And take a deep breath in and let it go. I choose to release them and let them go. I'm open to releasing fear and exploring adding more foods into my day, eating regularly, putting in the good stuff, nourishing my body, my mind, and my spirit, and creating a sustainable way of nourishing myself. I'm so grateful and appreciative now that I am changing this pattern. I'm ready, willing, and able to stop this binge eating pattern. I'm ready, willing, and able to release the fear and to explore and experiment with eating more foods. I'm open to releasing the deprivation mindset, the guilt and the shame associated with eating certain foods. I'm open to allowing myself more freedom around food, to stop the restriction. I'm learning to trust my body and all of my natural instincts to guide me towards health. I'm grateful and appreciative that I'm getting honest with myself, that I'm finding a path to healing my relationship with food, weight, and body image so that I can be free to live my life with more freedom, more health, more energy, taking back my power and creating a lifestyle that's sustainable and in alignment with my health and fitness goals. I'm so grateful and appreciative that I could make these changes one step at a time, one day at a time. And I'm grateful and appreciative that today I'm taking the time to shift this. And take a deep breath in and let it go, and tapping the top of the head, breathing in and letting go. And then you could release your hand, tune into yourself, tune into your body. This might have stirred up a lot of things for you. Journaling is another tool that can help you to get more clarity about the fears around eating, the fears around food. You can go back and tap again with this video. If you're needing some extra support, I can help you. You can go ahead and book a free strategy call with me, and I could learn more about your specific struggle when it comes to food, weight, and body image. And we could see if we're in alignment to work together. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video. I hope it was helpful, and let me know how it goes. Until next time, keep on taking good care of yourself. Bye now.